So yun, good afternoon sa atin, and bago tayo mag-start sa sa operations ng partnership, mag-solve muna tayo ng lang, two problems lang naman, problems sa formation. So wait lang, share ko muna. So ayan, kita nyo na ba? Kita na ba yung screen ko?
Okay na po, ate.
Ayan. So, start na tayo sa problem 1. Froilan Labausa contributed land, inventory, and 280,000 pesos cash by partnership. The land has a book value of 650,000 and a market value of 1,350,000 pesos. The inventory has a book value of 600,000 pesos and a market value of 510,000 pesos. So the partnership also assumed a 350,000 pesos notes payable owed by Labausa that was used to purchase the land. So Rosalie Balhag agreed to put up cash equivalent to Labausa's net investment. So ang required dito is to prepare the journal entry to record Labausa's and Balhag's investment in the partnership. So ang una muna nating i-record is yung kay Labausa. So to record the investment of Labausa. So yan. Ang first nating entry, ang first natin is i-record natin. Sabi niya dyan, contributed land, inventory, and 280,000 cash by partnership. So meron siyang cash na 280,000. Then, debit sa land na with a market value of 1,350,000. And inventory no 510,000 pesos. And magki-credit tayo kasi sabi niya dyan, the partnership also assume a 350,000 notes payable. So, i-credit natin yung notes payable. Notes payable, 350,000. And then, yung capital na. Labausa. So, para makuha natin yung amount ng capital is pag i-add natin ito, add mo din itong inventory, tapos ililes naman natin yung notes payable. Oh, shit. Sorry. 280,000 plus 1,350,000 plus 510 plus 350. Oh, so meron tayo dyang 1,790. 1,790,000. So yan, na-record na natin yung kay Labausa. So next naman natin is record the investment of Balhag. So, ang sabi niya dyan, Rosalie Balhag agreed to put up cash equivalent to Labaus's net investment. So, dito, kung ilan yung capital ni Labausa, ayun din yung in-invest ni Balhag. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng cash, debit cash na 1,790 ay 1,790,000. And then credit na Balhag capital. $1,790,000. So, yan. So, ang magiging entry ni Labausa is ito. Kasi sabi niya dyan, i-record lang yung investment. Hindi, kasi kasi 'di ba, lang sila, individuals lang sila. Hindi tulad nung na-discuss natin nung last week. 'Di ba, meron yung mga individuals and a sole proprietor na nagfo-form. Pero ito kasi lang sila, same na individual and wala silang existing business. So, yun. Tapos natin yung problem 1. Next naman natin is itong problem 4. Yan. So, dito sa problem 4, a sole proprietor and an individual with no business form a partnership. So, yung kanina is dalawang individual with no business, di ba? Ngayon naman is sole proprietor and an individual na walang business. So, on April 8, 2018, Tolentino, who has her own retail business and TAN, decided to form a partnership wherein they will divide profits in the ratio of 40:60, respectively. The statement of financial position of Tolentino is as follows. So, ayan yung statement of financial position niya. So, conditions agreed upon before the formation of the partnership is letter A, the accounts receivable of Tolentino is estimated to be 70% realizable. Letter B, the accumulated depreciation of the equipment will be increased by 10,000 pesos. Sa C naman, the accounts payable will be assumed by the partnership. And letter D, the capital of the partnership is based on the adjusted capital balance of Tolentino. TAN is to contribute cash in order to make the partners' capital balances proportionate to the profit and loss ratio. So, yun. Una natin gagawin dito is computin muna natin yung increase and decrease bago tayo mag-entry. So, wait na, computations. So, sa letter A, ang sabi nga sa letter A is accounts receivable of Tolentino is estimated to be 70% realizable. So, ang una natin kukunin dito is yung accounts receivable. Accounts receivable net as ledger. Or yung nandito na accounts receivable niya less allowance for uncollectible accounts. Yung 144,000. And ililess natin dyan yung accounts receivable net as agreed. O yung napagkasunduan nila. Yung nandyan sa may adjustments. Yan. Ang sabi dyan is 70% realizable. So, ang kanyang accounts receivable na balance is meron siyang accounts receivable na 160,000. Tapos, ito times natin siya sa 70%. So, ayun. Magkakaroon tayo dito ng, wait lang, 160 times 7, 112. 112,000. O dito na lang sa baba. Then, magkakaroon tayo dyan ng increase in allowance for doubtful accounts. Allowance for doubtful accounts yung magi-increase. Kasi kung mapapansin natin dito, yung nasa niya, nasa balance niya sa statement of financial position niya before ng partnership is mas mataas kaysa sa napag-agrihan. So para ang ma-record natin is itong napag-agrihan nila. Magdadagdag tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts para mabawasan yung 144. Kaya equals 144 less 112. Ayan. Meron tayong increase na 32,000 sa allowance for doubtful accounts. So, ayan na yung sa letter A. So, next natin is letter B. Ang sabi niya dyan sa letter B, the accumulated depreciation of the equipment will be increased by 10,000 pesos. Sinabi niya na pala na mag-i-increase na siya ng 10,000 pesos. So, ayun lang din yung hindi na natin kailangang i-compute yung effect niya. So, letter C, accounts payable will be assumed. So, parang dun sa mga conditions is ito lang yung may computations. So, after natin dyan sa computations, kunin na natin yung ay gawa na tayo ng journal entry in the books of Tolentino to adjust. To record the adjustment. To record the adjustments. So, ang magiging entry natin dyan is kasi ang adjustment lang naman dito is yung A and B. Ang sabi niya dyan, increase. So, kapag increase in allowance for doubtful accounts, ibig sabihin, magka-credit tayo kasi 'di ba ang normal balance ng allowance for doubtful accounts is credit. So, magka-credit tayo ng allowance for doubtful accounts. Allowance for doubtful accounts. Na 32,000. And then, sa letter B, increase ng 10,000 pesos sa accumulated depreciation. And same siya sa allowance for doubtful accounts na i-credit kasi sila yung mga contra-asset accounts. So, accumulated depreciation. 10,000. And ano nga ba yung debit natin? So, ang i-debit natin dyan is yung Tolentino Capital. Tolentino. Meron tayong 42,000. Ayan. So, na-record na natin yung adjustments. Next naman natin, kapag katapos nating i-record yung adjustment is yung number 2 na required. Prepare the opening journal entries in the books of the partnership. So, ito number 1. First requirement. Ito naman yung second. So, to open the book of partnership, i-record na natin yung mga investments nila. So, meron tayong cash, debit cash, 4,000. Debit to accounts receivable. Accounts receivable na 160. Inventory, 200,000. And equipment, 50,000. Next is credit. Ang i-credit natin dyan is first yung allowance for uncollectible accounts. Ay, ang uncollectible pala yung dito. So, dapat uncollectible. Meron tayong yung 32,000 na increase kanina. Then, i-add natin yung 16,000. Kaya meron tayong 48. And then, credit tayo ng accumulated depreciation na yung 10,000 na increase and 10,000 na nasa ano. So, 20,000. And then, ang sabi dun sa condition letter C, the accounts payable will be assumed by the partnership. So, magka-credit tayo din dito ng accounts payable. Accounts payable 36. And then, next is yung Tolentino capital na. Meron tayo 310. So, para makuha natin itong capital ni Tolentino, itong mga debit is mag-a-addin lang natin sila and then ilalas natin yung mga nasa credit para makuha natin itong or squeeze. Ayan. So, ito na yung kay investment. record investment. The investment. So yun. Yung sa next naman is yung kay Tan. Ang sabi niya dyan, Tan, is to contribute cash in order to make the partner's capital balances proportionate to the profit or and loss ratio. So meron tayong cash na 310. Then, capital 310. This refer the investment of time. So yun. Ayan. So natapos natin yung dalawang problem. And sana naalala niyo yung tinapik natin last week. Itong problem natin is sa formation siya ng partnership. Kaya kung makikita nyo, pag sa mga ganito na sole proprietor and individual, kung naalala nyo is nagko-close pa tayo ng book nung sole proprietor bago tayo mag-open ng panibagong book nung partnership. So yun, tapos na tayo sa formation. Ayan. So next naman natin is, punta na tayo sa topic natin ngayon, which is yung operations, partnership operations and financial reporting. So, ang una nating mag-represent is si Miss Daphne Lin, Miss Senzi. Pa-share na lang ng slide. Thank you. Ay, ako na pala. Wait.
So, good afternoon po. Yung topic natin for today is about sa partnerships, its operation and financial reporting. So, next slide po. So, dito muna tayo sa may partners equity in assets contrasted with share in profits or losses. Next po. So, the basis on which profits or losses are shared is a matter of agreement among the partners and may not necessarily be the same as their capital contribution ratio. The equity of a partner in the net assets of the partnership should be distinguished from a partner's share in profit or losses. So dito, yung pagdi-divide pagdi-divide ng profit or losses is hindi lang siya nakabase doon sa kung ilan yung amount na contribute ng each partner, kundi doon sa pwede niyang, kung ano pa yung pwede niyang mai-contribute, gaya ng nung sa knowledge niya, yung dun sa expertise niya or dun sa service na pwede niyang i-contribute. Hindi lang siya nakabase dun sa capital na pwede niyang i-contribute. Next po. So, para mas maunawaan, ito po yung sample illustration. Nelson Dakanta is a one-third partner. So, Dakanta may have one-third equity in the net assets of the partnership but might have a larger or smaller share in the profit or loss of the firm. So, such a statement may also be interpreted to mean that yung Dakanda is entitled to a one-third of the profit or loss. And although yung capital niya is, pwede siya mag-represent ng mas malaki or mas maliit dun sa one-third na total ng partners ng nung capital nilang mag-partner. So, partners may agree on any type of profit and loss ratio regardless dun sa amount na doon sa capital account balances nila. So hindi ibig sabihin na si Dakanta is one-third equity, one-third partner is yung ma-receive niya lang na share niya doon sa profit or loss is mas mababa or mas mataas kasi pwedeng yung na-share niya na-share niya doon sa na capital doon sa pagpuput up ng business nila is pwedeng malaki or mas mababa doon sa ini-expect natin na magiging contribution nila. Next po. So, dito naman tayo sa may factors to consider in arriving at a plan for dividing profits or losses. So, ito yung mostly factors na kino-consider. Money, property, or the industry. So, alam naman natin na yung partnerships profit are realized as a result of putting together the contributions of money, property, or industry of the partners. Then, the amount of the capital invested by each partner, the amount of time each partner devotes to the business, and other contributions are the factors being considered in the formulation of an equitable profit and loss ratio. So, yun nga. I-consider natin yung kung ilang amount yung pwede nilang i-contribute dun sa partnership nila, yung property nila and yung industry. And then especially pwede and i-consider din natin yung time na in-spend nung partner dun sa business nila. Hindi lang about siya sa kung ilan yung capital na kinontribute ng partner, ng each partner. So, next po. There are profit sharing plans which emphasize either value of personal services rendered by individual partners or the amount of capital invested by each partner. Some agreements consider the importance of both the amount and equity of managerial services rendered and the amount of capital invested by the partner for the success or failure of a partnership. So gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi lang yung amount ng money na kinontribute ng each partner ang pwedeng i-consider, kundi mahalaga rin na i-consider and i-emphasize yung na-render na service or yung dinevote niyang service ng each partner para dun sa success or dun sa failure ng partnership nila. Next po. So, these are the other factors which may be considered. Number one is yung a partner has considerable personal financial resources, thus giving the partnership a strong credit rating. In general, partners have unlimited liability. Gaya nga sinabi nung last session natin, isang characteristics ng partnership is it has unlimited liability. So a very solvent partner will make the partnership attractive to creditors. Number two, a partner who is well known in a profession or an industry may contribute immensely to the success of the partnership, although he may not participate actively in the operations of the partnership. So, mahalaga rin na yung profession ng partner or yung industry na makakapag-contribute ng malaki doon sa success ng partnership nila. Yung profession nila, if they are well known in their profession, makakatulong ito doon sa success ng partnership nila. Yun po. So, these two factors may be incorporated in the plan to arrive at a ratio by which any remaining profits or losses are to be divided. So, para mas maintindihan to, may sample illustration po ulit tayo. Next slide po. So, Daria Tolentino and Eleanor Tan are partners in a cocoa water business. So, partner Daria Tolentino contributed most of the assets of the business, but it spends little time for its daily operations. So, on the other hand, si partner Eleanor Tan naman is contributed less in assets but devotes her full knowledge and attention to the partnership. So, to divide profit or losses based dun sa contributions alone will result to inequities. So, tama nga naman na magre-result siya sa inequities kasi hindi porket si partner Daria Tolentino is nag-spend ng mas malaking amount ng assets niya, ay makakukuha siya ng mas malaking share ng profit dun sa partnership nila. Kasi si partner Eleanor naman kasi yung dinevote niya yung full knowledge niya doon and yung attention niya doon sa pagpapatakbo ng partnership, nung business nila, or nung dinevote niya yung attention niya doon sa partnership na nabuo nila. So, next po. So, dito naman tayo sa may performance method. Many partnerships use profit and loss sharing arrangements that give someone weight to the specific performance of each partner to divide incentives to performance. So, yung allocation ng profit na ito is ng partner is tinatawag na or nire-referred siya as a bonus. So, examples of the use of performance criteria are, yung una is yung chargeable hours. These are the total number of hours that the partner incurred on client-related assignments. So, yung weight niya is maybe given to hours in excess of a standard. Dun sa excess nung time ng pag-perform ng service. Or ito yung tinatawag natin na parang yung pag-overtime natin sa isang trabaho. So, pangalawa is yung total billings. Total billings, these are the total amount billed to clients for work performed and supervised by a partner constitute total billing. So, yung weight naman niya is maybe given to billings in excess naman doon sa norm. And number 3 is yung write-off. Alam naman natin na yung write-off is yun yung pag-eliminate ng mga uncollectibles billings natin. So, write-off is consists of uncollectible billings. Weight may be given to a write-off percentage below a norm naman. Unlike doon sa total billings na doon sa excess of a norm. And number 4 is yung promotional and civic activities. Time devoted to developing future business and enhancing the partnership name in the community is kinukonsider siya natin as a promotional and civic activities. Yung weight may be given to yung time na in-spend natin in excess of a norm or dun sa specific accomplishments resulting in new clients, yung na-accomplish natin sa pagkakaroon ng new client. Yung last performance criteria naman natin is yung profits in excess of specified levels. Ito yung designated partners commonly receive a certain percentage of profits in excess dun sa specified level of earnings naman. So, after the performance method, here is the rules for the distribution of profits or losses. The profits or losses shall be distributed in conformity with the agreement. If only the share of each partner in the profits has been agreed upon, the share of each in the losses shall be in the same proportion. So, kung ano yung share na nakuha mo dun sa profit, ganun din yung makukuha mo doon sa losses. Proportionate lang siya. So, in the absence of stipulation naman, the share of each partner in profit or losses shall be in the proportion to what he may have contributed. Kung ano yung na-contribute niya lang, ganun lang yung katumbas ng makukuha niyang share dun sa profit or losses ng partnership nila. Next po. So as for the profits, the industrial partner shall receive such share as may be just and equitable under the circumstances. If aside from services he has contributed capital, he shall also receive a share in the profits in proportion to his capital. It is under the Civil Code of the Philippines, Article 1797. The partnership must exist for the common benefit or interest ng partner. Siyempre, for the common benefits or interest ng partner, kaya nag-exist yung partnership na nabuo nila. So, a summary of the above level provision is prepared as follows. Next po. So, in profits, the profits will be divided according to the partner's agreement. Kaya nga nang sabi kanina na profit or losses shall be divided according dun sa napag-agreehan ng both partners. Letter B, if there is no agreement, ito yung as to capitalist partners, kapag walang agreement, the profit shall be divided according to their capital contribution. According daw kung ilang yung amount ng money na kinontribute nila to form their partnership. So, as to industrial partners naman, if any, such share as may be just and equitable under the circumstances, provided that industrial partners shall receive such shares before the capitalist partners shall divide the profits. So, doon na po tayo sa may losses. So, in losses, same lang siya doon sa profits. The losses will be divided according to the partners' agreement then. Kung ano yung napag-agreehan nilang mag-partners in the partnership. And if there is no agreement naman as to distribution of losses, but there is an agreement as to profits, the losses shall be distributed according to the profit sharing ratio nila. According to the profit ratio. So, letter C, in the absence of any agreement naman, dun sa may capitalist partners, the losses shall be divided according to the capital contribution. Same lang din siya dun sa may profit. Kung ilan yung amount na shinare nila dun sa partnership nila. And as to purely industrial partner naman, if there's any, shall not be liable for any losses. Hindi daw siya liable for any losses kasi 'di ba industrial partner siya, unlike dun sa capitalist partner. The industrial partner is not liable for losses because he cannot withdraw the work yun nga, hindi niya ma-withdraw or yung work na yung service na in-spend niya or yung label already done by him. Unlike yung capitalist partner naman who can withdraw their capital. In addition dito, if the partnership failed to realize any profit, then he has labored in vain, and in a real sense, he has already contributed his share in the loss. So the next topic will be discussed by Miss Mary Ann Llamas.
Next is correction of prior period errors. So, sa kahit na anong business entity, meron tayong madidiscover na error. Pero, para ma-minimize yung mga errors, dapat merong good internal control and exercise of due care. So, per International Accounting Standards, IAS number 8, accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and errors, prior period errors are omissions from and other misstatements of the entity's financial statements for one or more prior periods that are discovered in the current period. So, pwede yung mga errors na yun result ng mathematical mistakes, misinterpretation of facts, or pwede ding sa fraud. Examples include errors in estimation ng depreciation, errors in inventory valuation, and omission of accruals for revenue and expenses. Excuse me. The correction of a prior period error is excluded sa profit or loss kung saan na-discover yung error. Kung yung error nag-result sa understatement ng profit sa previous period, a correcting entry is needed to increase the capital. Pero kung overstated naman yung profit, kailangan naman ma-decrease yung capital. So, next slide po. Distribution of profits or losses based on partners' agreement. Anong sabi? Based on partners' agreement. So, in general, profits or losses shall be divided in accordance with the agreement of partners. The partners may agree on any of the following scheme in distributing profits or losses. Number 1, equally or in other agreed ratio. So, yung mga 50 to 50, ganon, 60 to 40. Second, based on partners' capital contributions, ratio of original capital investments, capital balances at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, and ratio of average capital balances of the year. Third, by allowing interest on partners' capital and the balance in agreed ratio, allowing salaries to partners and the balance in an agreed ratio, by allowing bonus to the managing partners based on profit and the balance in an agreed ratio. And the last one, by allowing salaries, interest on partners' capital, bonus to the managing partner, and the balance in an agreed ratio. So these topics will be discussed further by the other tutors. Next slide na po. Basta mani-discuss yan mamaya. So let's go to the illustration. The following series of illustrations are based on the figures obtained from the Aguilar and Forrest partnership, which had a profit of 300,000 for the year ended December 31, 2018, the first year operations. The partnership contract provided that each partner withdraw 5,000 on the last day of each month. Both partners did so during the year. So mapapansin natin sa separate na drawing accounts ni Lord Aguilar at Devon Porras, merong nakadebit na 60,000. Bakit 60,000? Kasi 5,000 times 12 is equals to 60,000. Kasi sabi, the last day of each month. So Aguilar invested 400,000 on January 1, 2018. So naka-credit yung 400,000 sa account ni Lord Aguilar. And an additional 100,000. So ayun. 100,000 April 1. Porras also invested 800,000 on January 1 and withdraw 50,000. So permanent na yung 50,000 na ni-withdraw niya. And 300,000 na profit sa income summary. Next slide po. Lang. Equally or in other and agreed ratio. So number one, partnership contracts may provide that profit or loss shall be divided equally. So yung profit kanina na sinabi doon sa illustration is 300,000. Sabi, equally kaya nakadebit sa both separate accounts ng Aguilar and Porras na 150,000. Bakit nga pala sa drawing account siya naka-credit? Kasi hindi ko na kasi nasama doon kasi intention ng partners na i-debit credit sa drawing account. Kasi 'di ba nung last time na nasabi ko na nakakadepende sa mga partners kung saan nila gustong i-debit or i-credit yung yung sa profit. Kasi kung choice naman nila yun kung gusto nilang i-debit or credit sa capital, pero kung gusto nilang i-maintain yung yung capital accounts and permanent withdrawals, kailangan yung profit or loss maka-enter sa drawing account. So next one is, if the partnership had a loss of 200,000 for the year ended December 31, 2018, wala akong COVID na lang ako. The income summary ledger account would have a debit balance of 200,000. So yung loss na nakadebit siya sa each drawing account ng dalawang partners and credit sa income summary account ng 200,000. Next slide na po. So the third one is, assume that Aguilar and Porras share profits and losses in a ratio of 60-40 and profit was 300,000. So yung ratio is 60-40. Bakit nga ba 180 and 120? Kasi 300,000 times 60% kay Aguilar, kaya naging 180, and 300,000 times 40% kay Porras, kaya 120. And income summary nakadebit for 300,000. So next tutor will be Miss Erica May Aviles.
Thank you, Miss Mary Ann. So now, ito na po tayo sa based on partners' capital contributions. Division of partnership profits in proportion to the capital invested by each partner is most likely to be found in partnerships in which substantial investments is the principal ingredient for success. It is essential that the partnership contract be specific with respect to the concept of capital. Capital may refer, so yan, here in based on partners' capital contributions, sinasabi na profits shall be divided by the partners according sa kanilang original capital contributions. And it is essential that the partnership contract is specific. So yun nga, yung original capital contribution, doon natin siya i-base, yung profits na i-divide natin, doon siya naka-base. That's why kailangan yung contract should be specific. And then, capital may refer to either of the following: ratio of original capital investment, ratio of capital balances at the beginning of the year, ratio of capital balances at the end of the year, and ratio of average capital balances. So we have illustrations para sa mga yan. Next slide po. So first is ratio of original capital investments. Assume that the partnership agreement provides for the division of profits in the ratio of original capital investments. Original investments of Aguilar and Porras are 400,000 and 800,000 respectively. The profit of 300,000 for 2018 is divided as follows. So yun nga, from the word itself, original capital investment. So, doon natin siya ibibase sa original capital investment. So, meron tayong profit na 300,000. Kaya nag-debit tayo ng income summary, 300,000. And then, magkikredit tayo ng drawings. Dito, yung computation ng amount ng drawings ni Lord Aguilar at Devson Porras is nakabase siya dun sa kanilang original capital investment. So, Lord Aguilar drawing 100,000 computed as so yung formula pala to compute the drawing is profit times original investment divided by total investment. So, Lord Aguilar drawing computed as 300,000 na profit times 400,000 original investment and divided by 1,200,000 na total investment. So amounting to 100,000. And Devson Porras computed as 300,000 times 800,000 divided by 1,200,000 equals to 200,000. So debit, income summary 300,000, credit Lord Aguilar drawing 100,000, credit Devson Porras drawing 200,000. So after the entry allocating the profits of 300,000 to Aguilar and Porras, are the partners supposed to receive cash for their respective share in the profits? So yung answer doon is no. Kasi yung partners share in the profits, hindi pa siya ma-attribute to any particular asset, including cash. Kasi the entry increase the equity of Aguilar and Porras in all the assets of the partnership. So next slide po. Ano po, sa may last po, yung beginning of the year. Yan, thank you. So, ratio of capital balances at the beginning of the year. Assume that the partnership agreement provided for the division of profits in the ratio of capital investments at the beginning of the year. In this case, the original capital investments are also the capital balances at the beginning of the year, since the partnership is only on its first year of operations. The profit of 300,000 for 2018 is divided as follows. So itong ratio of capital balances at the beginning of the year, it is same like with sa ratio of original capital investment. Kasi on its first year, syempre, yung capital balance at the beginning of the year is yung original capital investment. Then, yun muna ang gagamitin natin kasi nga first year pa lang. So, original capital investment din yung gagamitin natin sa beginning. So, yung entry niya is same din siya dun sa kanina. Yung computation kanina. Income summary, debit, 300,000, Lord Aguilar drawing, 100,000, Devson Porras drawing, credit, 200,000. So, same lang siya dun sa in-explain ko kaninang computation. Next slide po. Third one, ratio of capital balances at the end of the year. Assume that the profit is divided in the ratio of capital balances at the end of the year before drawings and the distribution of profit. The ending balances are 500,000 for Aguilar and 750,000 for Porras. The profit of 300,000 for 2018 is divided as follows. So, yung mag-credit ulit tayo, ay magde-debit ulit tayo ng income summary na 300,000. Tapos yung drawings nilang dalawa. So first, credit, Lord Aguilar drawings, computed as ng 300,000 na profit times 500,000 na ending balance divided by 1,250,000 na total balance nila. So, kay Lord Aguilar, drawing 120,000. Next one is Devson Porras drawing, computed as 300,000 times 750,000 ending balance over 1,250,000 equals to 180,000. So, yun to record the division of profits nila. Next slide po. So, ratio of average capital balances. Divisions of profits or losses on the basis of 3 preceding capital concepts. So, yung mga naunang tatlo, yung sa original capital investment, yung capital balances at the beginning of the year, saka yung capital balances at the end of the year, may prove inequitable if there are material changes in the capital accounts during the year. Kasi sinasabi dito, pag sa beginning capital balances, ang ginamit in allocating profits, yung additional investments during the year ay dinidiscourage. Kasi yung partners making such investments are not compensated dun sa division ng profit until the next year. Sa ending balance, kapag ending capital balance naman ang ginamit, yung year-end investments are encouraged. Pero wala nang incentive for a partner to make any investments for year-end. And in addition, amounts earlier withdrawn may be reinvested before year-end. These considerations suggest that using average balances as a basis for distributing profits or losses is preferable because it reflects the capital actually available for use by the partnership during the year. So we also have illustration for that. In the continuing illustration for the Aguilar and Porras partnership, the partners are entitled to withdraw 5,000 pesos monthly or a total of 60,000 per annum. Any additional withdrawals are directly debited to the partners' capital accounts and therefore will affect the computation of the average capital ratio. Next slide po. So, ito po yung computation of the average capital balances ni Aguilar and Porras. So, una, si Lord Aguilar Capital. So, si Lord Aguilar invested 400,000 on January 1. So, January 1, nakalagay dyan, capital account balances 400,000. And an additional 100,000 on April 1. So, nung January 1, nag-invest siya ng 400,000. Tapos, nung April 1, nag-add siya ng 100,000. Kaya, yung capital account balances as of April 1, naging 500,000 na po. So, first, January 1, yung original capital investment na dyan ng 400,000, ita-times na natin sa 3 months. Kasi nga, January to March. 3 months over 12 months. So, equals, nakuha natin yung average capital balance na 100,000. Sa April 1 naman, so 500,000 yung balance natin dyan. April to December, we have 9 months over 12 months. So, nakuha natin yung 375,000 and we add 100,000 to 375,000 to get the average capital of 475,000 for Lord Aguilar Capital. Kay Devson Porras Capital naman, on January 1, he invested 800,000 and withdrew 50,000 on July 1. So January 1, 800,000 times 6/12. January 2, June. So we got a 400,000. And on July 1, nag-withdraw siya ng 50,000. Kaya yung 800,000 na capital account balance natin is nabawasan ng 50,000. Kaya naging 750,000 na lang. Times din natin siya sa 6/12, July to December. So, may nakuha tayong 375,000. 400,000, deduct natin add natin yung 375,000. Nakuha natin yung average capital ni Devson na 775,000. So, to get the total average capital balances, we add the average capital of Lord Aguilar and Devson Porras. So, we got a 1,250,000. So, next slide po. Yan. The entry to record the division of 300,000 profits is as follows. So, as always, dinidebit natin yung profit. Income summary, debit 300,000. Tapos, credit drawings ni Lord Aguilar, 114,000. Paano natin nakuha yung 114,000? So, computation is profit times average capital over total average capital balances. So, kay Aguilar, 300,000 times 475,000 over 1,250,000, we got 114,000. Kay Devson Porras, drawing credit 186,000 computed as 300,000 times 775,000 over 1,250,000 goes to 186,000. Next slide po. So, by allowing interest on capital and the balance in an agreed ratio. So, to allow interest on partners' capital account balances is almost similar to dividing part of profits in the ratio of partners' capital balances. If the partners agree to allow interest on capital as a first step in the division of profit, they should specify the interest rate to be used. It should also state whether interest is to be computed on capital balances on specific dates or on average capital balances during the year. So, it's very important to specify what rate to be used. So, partners invested in a partnership for profits, not for interest. So, nag-form kayo ng partnership to earn profits. The interest on partners' capital along with the other profit-sharing plans to be discussed in the remainder of the chapter are to be considered as mere techniques to share partnership profits or losses equitably and not as expenses of the partnership. On the other hand, the interest on loans from partners is recognized as expense and a factor in the measurement of profit or loss of the partnership. Similarly, interest earned on loans to partners is recognized as partnership income. This treatment is consistent with the discussion in the previous chapter that loans receivable from or payable to partners are assets and liabilities respectively of the partnership. So, yung interest earned on loans is nire-recognize siya na as a partnership income. So, next po, illustration. Continuing the illustration of Aguilar and Porras partnership with a profit of 300,000 for 2018 and capital balances as already shown, assume that the partnership agreement allowed 15% interest on average capital account balances. With the balance to be divided equally, the profit of 300,000 for 2018 is divided as follows. So, here we will get the 15% interest on average capital of Aguilar and Porras. So, una kay Aguilar. So, yung na-compute natin kanina, na average capital niya is 475,000. i-multiply lang natin siya sa 15% interest. So, may na-compute tayong 71,250 pesos. Kay Porras naman, yung average capital niya na 775,000 times 15% equals to 116,250 pesos. So, i-add natin yung dalawang yon, may subtotal tayo na 187,500. And then we will also compute the balance to be divided equally. So, yung profit, ililess na natin siya, ililess natin yung subtotal. Kaya nakuha natin yung 112,500. And that amount, that balance, we will divide it into 2 because we have 2 partners. Aguilar, 112,500 times 50% equals to 56,250, same with Porras. So our share of partners in profits, i-add natin yung sa 15% interest on average capital, tapos yung balance nila na dinivide equally. Kay Aguilar, 71,250 plus 56,250, we got 127,500. And Porras, 116,250 plus 56,250 equals to 172,500. And the total, the share of partners in profit total, 300,000. Next slide po. The journal entry to close the income summary ledger account on December 31, 2018 follows. Income summary, debit 300,000, credit Lord Aguilar drawing 127,500, and Devson Porras drawing 172,500 to record the division of profits. So next slide po. Yan. In a related case, assume that the Aguilar and Porras partnership had a loss of 10,000 for the year ended December 31. If the partnership agreement provided for interest on capital accounts, this provision must be honored regardless of whether operations yielded profits or not. So dito, assume natin na partnership had a loss of 10,000 for the year ended. The loss will be shared by the partners in the same manner as the 300,000 profit. Of course, kung yung profit is nag-share silang dalawa, same with the loss. The total interest allowance of 187,500 will still be given to the partners. The only difference is that the division of profits or losses after the interest allowances would involve a larger negative amount of 197,500, which will be divided equally between Aguilar and Porras. So next slide po for the computation. So here, 15% interest on average capital. So this one, sa 15% interest on average capital, same lang siya dun sa last kong di-discuss. So di ko na po siya ulitin. Dito na lang po tayo sa my balance to be divided equally. Kasi the difference here is nagkaroon siya ng loss na 10,000. So yung loss na 10,000, ililess natin yung subtotal na 187,000. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng amount na negative 197,500. So yun yung i-share na, i-divide natin equally. Mag-share si Aguilar and Porras. So kay Aguilar, yung 197,000, negative 197,500 times natin sa 50%, 90,750. Aguilar and Porras is mag-share sila ng 98,750. So, yung amount ni Aguilar, sa 15% interest on average capital niya is 71,250. I-deduct natin doon yung share of loss nila na 98,750. Kaya, yung share of partners in profit or losses ni Aguilar is meron siyang loss na 27,500. Kay Porras naman, 116,250. Lilas natin yung sharing of loss nila, 98,750. Meron pa siyang naiiwang 17,500. And then yung sa total, yun nga, nagkaroon tayo ng loss na 10,000 pesos. Next slide po for the journal entry. The journal entry to close the income summary ledger account on December 31, 2018 follows. So, debit, income summary na 27,500. And then, so, may mistake po dito sa may entry. So, ito na lang, correct ko na lang po. So, magde-debit tayo ng Lord Aguilar drawing 27,500 kasi yan yung loss niya. Tapos, credit income summary na 10,000. Kasi nagkaroon na tayo ng loss. Tsaka, credit Devson Porras drawing na 17,500. So, that entry is to record the division of losses. So, the next topic will be discussed by Ms. Nathalie de Guzman.
So, yun. Thank you, Ate Erica. So, next is the comparison of distribution based solely on capital ratios as against distribution with interest on capital balances. So, there will be a significant difference between the two distribution plans if the partnership is operating at a loss. So, yung sinasabi dito na two distribution plans is the capital ratio plan and then the interest ratio plan. So, under the capital ratio plan, the partner who invested more capital will ultimately shoulder a bigger capital of the loss. So, dito sa sa capital ratio plan, ayun nga yung parang sa kanina yung mga ratios natin na 60-40, ganun, 30-70, ganun. So, ang sinasabi niya dyan is mas mag-shoulder yung mas may pinakamalaking capital kasi kapag nagkaroon ng loss, operating loss ang partnership, ang magiging hatian kasi nila is based dun sa ratio nila. Kaya, kunwari, kapag kami, sino ba pwede? Si Erica, yun. Bumuo kami ng partnership ni Ate Erica nyo. And ang hatian namin is 60 tas 40. 60 si ate nyo Erica tas 40 yung sa akin. So kapag nagkalos kami, ang magiging hatian din nun is based dun sa ratio namin which is 60-40. Kaya di ba nakukuha naman yung ratio na yun based sa sa capital na invest. So, yun yung sa capital ratio plan. And next is the interest ratio plan, interest plan. The partner who invested more capital is credited or increased for an interest on his capital and is ultimately debited, decreased with a lesser share of the loss. But in some cases, the result may even be a net credit. So, yun, yung sa interest, kung sino yung mas may malaking capital, meron siyang credit or increase sa interest ng capital niya and lesser share naman sa loss. And nakalimutan ko palang sabihin kanina yung sa capital ratio plan. This may be considered as inequitable because the investment of capital presumably is not the cause of the loss. So hindi naman dahilan ay hindi naman yun yung cost ng loss nyo. Kaya parang hindi siya equal yung capital ratio plan. So, ayun. Wait lang. Next is by allowing salaries to partners and the balance in an agreed ratio. So, the sharing agreement may provide for variations in compensating the personal services contributed by partners. Even among partners who devote equal service time, one partner's superior experience and knowledge may command a greater share for the profit. Siyempre, kapag, kunwari, ikaw yung isa ka sa mga partner, di ba? Siyempre, kapag, nag-ano ka ng knowledge mo or experience or service, ganun, di siyempre, parang magde-demand yun ng greater share. Kasi parang hindi lang yung ininvest mo na cash, ng land, ganun yung shinare mo. Nag-share ka din ng knowledge mo and effort, type, ganun. So, to acknowledge the harder working or more valuable partner, the profit sharing plan may provide a salary allowances. The partnership agreement should be clear on the treatment of salary allowances when losses are incurred. In the absence of an agreement to govern this situation, salary allowances will be provided even when operations yielded losses. So, this allowance should not be confused with salaries expense or with the partner's drawing account, which is debited for periodic salary allowances. The cash withdrawals will in no way affect the division of profits. So the division of profits is governed by the sharing agreement. So syempre, 'di ba yung partners, sila yung partners ownership, hindi sila yung employees. So if partners devote their time and services to the affairs of the partnership, they are understood to do so for profit, not for salary. Therefore, when the partners calculate the profit of the partnership, salaries to the partners are not deducted as expenses in the statement of recognized income and expense. Hindi siya dinededuct as expenses. So, continuing the illustration for Aguilar and Porras partnership. Assume that the partnership agreement provided for an annual salary na 100,000 pesos to Aguilar and 60,000 pesos to Porras, and the balance to be divided equally. The profit of 300,000 pesos for 2018 is divided as follows. So, ang una nating ilalagay dyan is yung salary allowances nila, which is 100,000 pesos kay Aguilar and 60,000 pesos naman kay Porras. And meron siyang total na 160,000 pesos. And syempre, 'di ba, ibabawas natin yung total ng salary allowances na yun dun sa profit para makuha natin yung balance. So 300,000 pesos, ililes natin yung 160,000 pesos. Meron tayong 140,000 pesos na balance. And itong balance daw na ito is divided equally. So 50-50 sila, 50%. So for Aguilar, meron siyang 70,000 and ganoon din kay Porras kasi nga divided equally. So 50% sila. So yung ang share na makukuha ni Aguilar is 170,000 pesos. Nakuha natin yun sa pag-add nung 100,000 pesos dun sa 70,000 pesos. Kaya meron siyang 170,000 pesos. And kay Porras naman, yung salary allowance niya na 60,000 pesos, i-add natin yung 70,000 pesos. Kaya meron siyang 130,000 pesos. So, ito na yung hatian nila dun sa profit na 300,000 pesos. So the journal entry to close the income summary ledger on December 1, 2018 is as follows. Income summary na 300,000 pesos. Ito yung profit nila. And Lord Aguilar drawing, credit Lord Aguilar drawing na 170,000 pesos and Devson Porras drawing na 130,000 pesos. So nasabi naman siguro kanina kung bakit drawing yung accounts na nilagay natin dyan. So this is to record the division of profits. And next natin, is by allowing bonus to the managing partner based on profit and the balance in an agreed ratio. So a partnership contract may provide a special compensation in the form of bonus to the managing partner when the results of operations of the partnership are favorable. This allowance is given in order to encourage the partner to maximize the profit potentials of the partnership. Bonus is not considered in the computation of profit. Rather, it is a mere technique to distribute profits. So, i-continue natin yung illustration. Assume that the Aguilar and Porras partnership agreement provided for a bonus of 25% of profit before bonus to partner Aguilar, and the balance to be divided equally. And yung profit nila is 300,000 pesos. So tatanda natin tong before bonus. So to compute yung nila is, so to compute the bonus, 25% nung 300,000 pesos. So bakit nga ba 300,000 pesos yung, bakit nga ba 25% ng 300,000 pesos yung kinuha natin na bonus ni Aguilar? Kasi sabi dyan is before. So, ayan. 25% ng 300,000 is 75,000 pesos. So, siya lang yung may bonus, kay Porras wala. And yung 75,000 pesos na ito is ililes natin siya ulit sa 300,000 pesos para makuha natin yung remaining balance na 225,000 pesos. So itong remaining na to na 225,000 pesos is ito na yung paghahatian nilang dalawa equally ulit. So 50% kay Aguilar and 50% kay Porras. So 225,000 pesos times 50% is meron 112,500 kay Aguilar and ganoon din kay Porras. So ngayon ang magiging share ni Aguilar sa profit is 187,500. Yung 75,000 add natin yung 112,500. And yung kay Porras naman is yung 112,500 lang kasi 'di ba wala siyang bonus kanina. So yun. That is to divide the profit. And the entries to close is same lang kanina. Income summary, debit na 300,000 pesos. And Lord Aguilar drawing, 187,500. And Devson Porras drawing, 112,500. So kung mapapansin nyo is yung sa amount lang magbabago, hindi yung accounts title. Kasi yung pares lang naman na yung kino-close nila, di ba? Pares lang yung kino-close nila. And sa amount lang nagbabago kasi yung iba, salaries, bonus. Tapos meron din naman yung iba, salaries, bonus, interest, ganun. Kaya nag-iiba-iba yung amount. So, itong entry na to is to record the division of profits. So, next natin is, so kung yung kanina is before bonus, ngayon naman, after. Assume instead that the Aguilar and Porras partnership agreement provided for a bonus of 25% of profit after bonus to partner Aguilar and the balance to be divided equally. So, ayun nga, naiintindihan natin dun sa agreement na yun na yung 25% bonus will be based on the difference after deducting the bonus from a certain amount. So this certain amount is the profit after considering all the operating expenses but before this bonus. So parang ito yung magiging computation yan. Yung sa kanina, 'di ba? Kanina profit before bonus. Ang naging base natin is 300,000 pesos. Itong 300,000 pesos na to is 125% na yan. Kasama yung bonus na 25%, kaya 125. And para makuha natin yung ano, 'di ba ang bonus natin is 25%. So ibig sabihin, itong profit after bonus na to is 100% siya. So para makuha natin yung ano, so para makuha natin yung bonus na yan is gagawin natin 125% yung 300,000 and alam naman natin na 100% yung bonus. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng, pag pinag-deduct yung dalawa is 60,000. And syempre, pag pinag-deduct mo din itong dalawang percentage is 25,000 yung matitira. So, ito na yung magiging bonus natin. Yan. So, sa bonus, merong 60,000 pesos si Aguilar. And yun nga, siya lang yung may bonus. And yung 60,000 pesos na yan is ililess natin siya sa 300,000 pesos na profit. Oops. Wait lang. Mali din yung nalagay ko. Hindi, tama pala yan. Ito, dito lang mali. So, dapat $1,000 pa ito. And meron silang matitira na 240. And yung 240,000 pesos na yan is hahatiin mo. 50-50 sila. So, 240,000 pesos times 50%. Meron silang 120,000. So, ang share ni Aguilar is 60,000 plus 120,000. Meron siyang 180,000. And yung kay Porras naman is yung 120,000 lang. So, entry to close. Income summary, debit, 300,000. And credit na Lord Aguilar drawing, 180. And Devson Porras drawing, 120,000. This is to record the division of profits. So, tapos na tayo sa salaries and sa bonus. Next naman natin is by allowing salaries, interest on capital, bonus to the managing partner, and the balance in an agreed ratio. Parang pinagsama-sama na natin. Pinagsama na natin yung salaries, yung interest, bonus, tsaka yung balance. So, assume that the profit for the year is 400,000 pesos, and the partnership agreement for the Aguilar and Porras partnership provided the following. 1. Bonus to Aguilar of 25% of profit after salaries and interest but before bonus. Number 2. Annual salaries of 100,000 pesos to Aguilar and 60,000 pesos to Porras. Number 3. interest on average capital balances of 71,250 and 116,250 to Aguilar and Porras respectively. 4. Balance to be divided in ratio of 40-60. So para compute yan, uunahin natin is yung salary allowances. So ang sabi dyan sa number 2, annual salaries of 100,000 to Aguilar. Kaya meron siyang 100,000 dito. And 60,000 naman kay Porras. And yung total ng salary allowances natin is 160,000. And next natin is yung interest on average capital balances. Meron kay Aguilar na 71,250 and 116,250 naman kay Porras. And yung total niya is 187,500. So ito na, sa bonus na. Ang sabi niya dun sa bonus, 25% of profit after salaries and interest, but before bonus. So, after, ang sabi dyan is after. Kaya kung mapapansin natin dito, ang pinag-compute niya dun sa bonus is 25% times 400 less 160 less 187,500. Parang ang magiging niyan is ililess muna natin yung ililess muna natin yung salaries sa profit, salaries and interest sa profit. So 400,000 less 160,000 less 187,500. So meron tayong meron tayong 52,500. And yung 52,500 na yon is ito times natin ng 25%. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng 13,125. And ang sabi dyan, ang may bonus lang is si Aguilar. Kaya wala kay Porras. So yun yung magiging total din kasi wala din naman si Porras. 13,125. So after yung balance na, yung natira, i-divide na natin siya equally. So meron siyang ratio na 40-60, 40% kay Aguilar and 60% kay Porras. So 400,000 na profit, i-less natin yung 160,000, 87,500 na interest, 5. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng 39,375 na balance. And ito na yung hahatiin natin. So, para kay Aguilar, 39,375 times 40%. Meron siyang 15,750. And kay Porras naman, 39,375 times 60%. Meron siyang 23,625. And para makuha natin yung share nila sa profit, ipag-add lang natin tong lahat. Kasi wala namang negative balance dyan. So, ipag-add natin. 100,000 plus 71,250 plus 13,125 plus 15,750. Merong share si Aguilar na 200,125. And kay Porras naman, 60,000 plus 116,250 plus 23,625. Meron siyang 199,875. So yun, nahati na natin yung profit. So bonus to Aguilar of 25% of profit after salaries and interest and after bonus tax. Kasi kanina, di ba, after salaries and interest but before bonus. So ang next naman natin ngayon is after salaries and interest and after bonus. So, same ano siya, illustration. Ang pinagkaiba lang is itong after bonus. So, para ma-compute natin yung bonus, meron tayong profit before salaries, interest, and bonus na 400,000. Ileless natin yung salaries and interest na sinabi kanina, which is 160,000 and 187,500. Ito na yung total ng salaries, allowances, and interest nila. Kaya meron tayong 347,500. And ililess natin yun sa 400,000. Kaya meron tayong profit after salaries and interest but before bonus na 52,500. So ito yung magiging 125%. Kung naalala nyo to kanina, nabanggit ko. And kukunin natin naman ngayon yung profit after salaries and interest and after bonus. So para makuha natin yung ano, yung itong, kasi hindi naman natin din makukuha itong bonus kung hindi natin nakuha yung after na yan. Ay, after na yan. So, para makuha natin tong ano, 100%, itong 52,500, i-divide lang natin siya sa 125%. So, 52,500 divided by 125%. Makukuha natin yung 100% niya na 42,000. And para makuha naman natin yung bonus, ililess na lang natin siya, 52,500 less yung 42,000. Kaya meron tayong bonus na 10,500, which is 25% na siya. Kasi yun naman yung sinabi. So, para malaman natin yung shares ng every partners. Ayan, meron tayo dito. Salary allowances, hindi siya nagbago, ganun pa rin. And yung sa interest, ganun din. Dito lang siya nagbago sa bonus. Kasi kung titignan natin kanina, yung before bonus, 13,125 yung bonus niya. Ngayon naman, meron na siyang bonus na 10,500. So, ganun pa rin yung sa sa pagkuha ng balance. 400,000, ililess mo yung salary allowances and yung interest. And then, yung bonus. Mali yung nakalagay na bonus na naman. 10,500 dapat itong bonus dito. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng 42,000 na balance. 400,000 less 160 less 187,500 less 10,500. Yan, meron tayong 42,000 na balance. So, wag muna natin itong pansinin dahil hindi ko napalitan. Sorry na po. Ayan, ito yung hahatiin natin. So, 42,000 times 40%, yun yung kay Aguilar. Meron siyang 16,800. And 60% ng 42,000, 25,200. Yun yung kay Poras. So, ang magiging share ni Aguilar dito is 198,550. And kay Poras naman is 201,450. And yun, yung total is 400. Yung ano. So, yun. Yun na yung end nung sa akin. And the next reporter will be Ms. Francie Claire.
Okay. So, nakikita na ba yun? So, yung next is yung financial reporting. pag-usapan natin kung ano yung purpose of financial statements. And when we say financial statements, ito yung mga structured representation na nagpo-provide ng information about sa financial position, financial performance, and cash flows ng entity na makakatulong sa paggawa ng mga economic decisions. And yung financial statements din, pinapakita niya yung mga result ng management stewardships of the resources entrusted to it. And the last is financial statements provide information about the entity's assets, liabilities, and equity, income, and expenses, and also the other changes in equity and cash flows. Meron tayo dito mga overall consideration. First is yung fair presentation and compliance with IFRS or International Financial Reporting Standards. Dito is nire-require niya yung faithful representation ng effects ng mga transactions. Kapag sinabing faithful representation, ito yung mga ipapakita kung ano ba yung totoong mga nangyayari, ganon. Yung kompleto yung pagre-represent niya, walang labis, walang kulang, ganon. And wala ding bias. Hindi din kailangan na parang, basta fair dapat yung presentation niya, hindi niya kailangan papel-papelin lang yung ganon. And second is yung going concern. Yung financial statements daw is kailangan i-prepare siya on a going concern basis. I-assume natin na magko-continue siya to operate. Magko-continue to operate. And third, okay yan. So third is yung accrual basis of accounting. Kapag sinabing accrual basis of accounting kasi, kasi daw, yung financial statements daw is kailangan i-prepare using the accrual basis of accounting except dun sa cash flow information. Kasi kapag sinabing accrual accounting, ito yung method na kung saan yung mga revenues and expenses is nire-record na siya kapag na-earn na. Regardless of the money, kung kailan ba siya actual na-receive or nabayadan, ganon. Di ba kapag yung sa cash flow kasi is cash basis lang siya, ganon. So, dito, hindi except dito yung cash flow information. And fourth is yung materiality and aggregation. Sinasabi niya dito, yung entity daw is shall present separately each material class of similar items. Tapos sabi din dito na yung mga material items daw na dissimilar in nature or dun sa mga function is kailangan daw siya i-disclose separately. And fifth is yung offsetting. Yung entity daw is shall not offset the assets and liabilities. Also the income and expenses unless i-require siya or i-permit siya ni IFRS. And yung number 6 is yung frequency of reporting and comparative information. Dito daw, magpe-present siya ng financial statements na complete set, ganon. Kasama na din dito yung comparative information para in respect dun sa previous period para yung comparative information kasi parang mako-compare mo siya dun sa last year, dun sa previous years and dun sa current period. Parang makikita mo kasi kung may improvement ba siya or may kailangan ka pang i-improve, mga ganon. And yung sa number 7 is consistency of presentation. Kailangan kung ano yung ginamit niya dun sa mga unang taon, is yun din yung mga gamitin niya dun sa mga successive periods. unless merong daw mga alternative na i-require si IFRS sa pagpe-present ng financial statements. Wait lang. Ayun, 3 o'clock na pala. Mag-extend lang tayo ng konti. Siguro mga 3:20, gano'n. If ever na di ko man siya matapos sa time na yon, i-continue na lang natin sa susunod. And last, yung number 8 is identification of the financial statements. Kapag yung identification of financial statements daw, kailangan yung entity is i-identify niya yung mga financial statements and notes. Dito sa identification of financial statements, ito yung mga nakalagay, itong mga name of reporting entity, tapos yung financial statements kung pang individual entity ba siya or group of entities, and yung date din ng reporting period, and also yung presentation ng currency, and yung level of rounding na ginamit. Ayan, may example tayo dito ng financial statements. Yan, yung Colgate-Palmolive Company, ito yung reporting name ng reporting entity na na-mention kanina. Yan, ito namang consolidated statement of income. 'Di ba sabi niya dun kanina, ipapakita kung yung financial statements daw is for individual entity or group of entity. Dito sa financial statements na sinample natin, ginawa natin siyang group of entities kasi nga nakalagay na dito, consolidated. So, ibig sabihin, pinagsama-sama na siya. Ganon. And yung isa, yung date of the reporting period. And yung nasa dalawa na nasa last, yung presentation ng currency, ito yung dollars, tapos yung rounding use, millions. So, ayan. So, meron tayo ditong complete set ng financial statements. First is yung financial position. Andyan yung mga assets, liabilities, and equity ng isang entity. And next is yung financial performance. Andyan naman yung mga income and expenses. And letter C, changes in equity. And letter D, cash flows. And yung last is notes to financial statements. Actually, meron pa diyang isa. But for now, mag-focus muna tayo dito sa 5 ng basic or madalas nating makita sa isang financial statements. Ito. Syempre, punta muna tayo sa financial performance or yung sa income and expenses. Dito, yung sa income statement na to is parang same lang siya sa sole proprietorship. Yun nga lang, dito sa partnership na income statement daw is siya, parang nagkakaiba lang siya dito sa may division of profit, yung sa may capital account. Kasi nga, kung yung sa sole proprietorship is iisa lang pangalan yung andito and yung profit din is parang solo niya, gano'n. Dito naman kasi sa partnership is siya, may dalawa, gano'n. Naka-present individually yung mga equity nila or yung hati nila dun sa profit. Ayan. Sabi niya dito, the components of profit or loss may be presented either as part of single statement of comprehensive income or in an income statement. And kapag ang ginamit natin is yung income statement or presented siya as income statement, part na siya ng complete set ng financial statements and kailangan siyang i-display immediately before ng statement of comprehensive income. Yan. Punta tayo dito sa mga line items. The statement of financial performance shall include line items that present the following amounts for the period. Meron tayong revenue, finance costs, share of profit or loss of associates and joint ventures accounted for using the equity method, tax expense, and yung mga single amount comprising the total of, una is yung post-tax profit or loss of discontinued operations, and yung pangalawa is yung post-tax gain or loss recognized on the measurement to fair value less cost to sell on the disposal of the assets or disposal groups constituting the discontinued operations. And meron din, and dun sa financial performance din, andyan din yung profit or loss. Ganon. And yung each component of the financial performance classified by the nature, excluding yung itong susunod, yung share of the other financial performance of associates and joint ventures accounted for using the equity method. In last is yung total financial performance. Okay. After ng financial performance or yung income statement, punta naman tayo dun sa statement of changes in equity. Ito, meron siyang sinabi na yung total financial performance for the period showing separately the total amounts attributable to the owners of the parent and minority interest. Letter B, for each component of equity, the effect of retrospective restatement recognized in accordance with accounting policies, changes in accounting estimates and errors. Letter C, the amounts of transactions with owners in their capacity as owners, showing separately contribution by and distributions to owners. And for each component of equity, a reconciliation between the carrying amount of the beginning and the end of the period separately disclosing each change. Ayan, ito yung example ng statement of changes in equity sa partnership. Yan, kung makikita nyo, andito yung kay Aguilar and andito din yung kay Porras. And next. And syempre, after na mapakita yung mga statement of financial performance, kasama na din yung changes dun sa equity, ipepresent na din natin yung financial position. Dito sa financial position, yung mga assets and liabilities is yung sa pagpe-present ng mga asset and liabilities, same lang din dun sa sole proprietorship. Ayan. 'Di ba yung sa sole proprietorship, ganito lang din is meron siyang assets and liabilities niya. Pero pagdating dun sa equity, kung mapapansin nyo, yung capital nilang dalawa is exhibit sila separately. Ito ang example na to, wala na siya sa book. So, bali sa Google ko na siya nakita para lang may pakita ko. Ayan. So, ganito yung magiging itsura ng financial position pag partnership siya. Ayan, naka-display separately yung mga capital nila. Ayan. Ito yung mga line items na madalas din makita sa pagpe-present ng financial position. Yung iba dito is hindi pa tayo familiar, ganon. Meron tayong property, plant, and equipment na madalas natin makita, investment property, intangible assets, financial assets, investment accounted for using the equity method, and so on. Hanggang dito siya. Yan. So, punta na tayo dun sa next na kailangan i-note daw natin na yung entity makes the judgment about whether to present additional items separately on the basis of assessment of first is yung nature and liquidity of ng asset. And second is yung function ng assets within the entity. And third is yung amount, nature, and timing of the liabilities. Kailangan ding i-note na sa pagpe-present ng assets and liabilities is kailangan current and non-current siya. Presented siya separately as current and non-current assets or liabilities. Naka-classified siya, parang ganon. So, ayan. Ito yung example niya. Kung mapapansin nyo dito, andito yung title niya na asset. And ayan, magkahiwalay na yung current asset sa non-current asset. So, ayun. Yun nga lang, except nga lang daw kapag yung presentation, di ba sabi, kailangan daw yung current and non-current assets is presented siya separately. Except nga lang kapag nakapresent siya based sa liquidity. Ngayon, kapag sinabi nating liquidity-based presentation, yung mga assets and liabilities daw is presented siya in order of liquidity or kung gaano ba sila kadali na i-convert into cash. So, ayan. Masasabi natin current assets siya kapag first, it expects to realize the assets intend to sell or consume in its normal operating cycle. And when we say operating cycle, ito yung time between the acquisition ng assets for processing and yung realization niya into cash or cash equivalents. Ayan. And second is it holds the asset primarily for the purpose of trading. And third is masasabi natin current asset siya kapag it expect to realize the asset within 12 months after ng reporting period. And the asset is cash or cash equivalent as defined in IAS number 7. Yung dito kasi yung sa cash is ito yung mga cash on hand, ganon. And yung sa cash equivalents naman, ito yung mga short-term, highly liquid investments na readily to convert into cash, ganon. And ayun, syempre kapag yung asset is hindi napasok yung definition niya dito or wala siya dito, kukonsider na siya as non-current asset. Yan. Also, di ba, ayun, nasabi din kanina, di ba, yung sa liabilities, naka-current and non-current din siya. So, ito yon. Kung mapapansin nyo, yung liabilities is nakahiwalay into current and non-current liabilities. Yan. When we say current liabilities, expected siya to be settled in the normal operating cycle. It held primarily for the purpose of trading and masasettle din siya within 12 months after the end of the reporting period and does not have an unconditional right to defer settlement of the liability for at least 12 months after the reporting period. At tulad din ng nasabi kanina, kapag wala siya dito or hindi siya pasok dito sa mga nabanggit dito, all other liabilities will be classified as non-current liabilities. So, ayun, tapos na tayo. And last is yung statement of cash flows. Actually, napag-usapan na natin to nung mga last meeting. But sige, i-recap natin siya. Yung sa cash flows. Diba? Yung sa cash flows, ito yung mga cash inflows and outflows during an accounting period. Ito na yung sa mga tungkol sa mga pagpasok ng pera at sa paglabas ng pera. So, dito sa cash flows, tulad ng nasabi kanina, cash basis siya. Yan. Meron tayong tatlong categories. First is yung operating activities, investing, and financing activities. So, una is yung operating activities. Ito yung mga events or transactions na mga date. Ito yung events and transactions. Ito yung day-to-day events and transactions ng isang entity. Andito yung mga, kasama dito yung net income and also yung mga changes sa current asset and current liabilities. Yan, kung mababasa nyo dito, andito yung mga example ng cash, yung mga masasabi natin cash inflows. First is yung pag-receive ng mga receipt from the sale of goods and performance of services. May papasok na pera pag nagbayad sila. Receipts from royalties, fees, commission, and other revenue. And yung sa cash flows naman, sa operating activities, is nandyan yung mga payments sa suppliers. Basta yung mga payment natin lahat, ibig sabihin nagbabayad tayo. Ganun. Next is yung sa investing activities. Dito naman sa investing activity, ito yung mga transactions na naaapektuhan yung mga long-term assets, yung mga non-current assets. Nandun yung mga cash inflows and cash outflows natin. Meron tayong receipts from sale of property and equipment, receipts from sale of investment in debt or equity securities. Basta ito mga transaction na to is yung mga nakaka-apekto dun sa mga long-term assets natin. And last is yung sa financing activities. Kung kanina is yung sa mga long-term assets, ito naman is yung sa financing activities naman, mga events and transactions na ang naapektuhan is yung long-term liabilities and equities. Andito may mga cash inflows and outflows din tayo dyan. And kung maalala nyo, sa statement of cash flows, meron tayong sinabing dalawang method, yung direct method and indirect method. And kung mapapansin nyo nga, ayan siya, ang difference nila sa direct method, ito na siya, nakadirect na siya mismo kung ano yung mga binayaran mo, ganon. Sa indirect method naman, is una mag-start tayo sa net income. And after nun, mag-a-adjust tayo ng mga non-cash transactions, parang itong depreciation expense, ganon. And kung maalala nyo, yung sa indirect method, may sinabi tayong mga relationships doon. Yan, yung direct and indirect relationship. Kung maalala nyo na kapag current asset daw is nagkaroon ng increase, is deduct siya. Parang itong inventory, dun sa problem natin dati, nagkaroon siya ng increase, kaya kung mapapansin nyo, dineduct natin siya. And kapag nagkaroon daw ng decrease, yung current asset is i-add natin siya. So, itong accounts receivable, itong mga prepaid insurance, gano'n, nagkaroon ng decrease itong mga to. And yun yung tinatawag na indirect relationship. And pag direct relationship naman, sa liability account yon. Mag-a-add tayo kapag nagkaroon ng increase sa accounts payable. Parang itong accounts payable, tumaas siya, di ba? So, nagkaroon tayo dito ng add. And magde-deduct tayo kapag nagkaroon siya ng decrease. So, yun. And after ng statement of cash flows, punta naman na tayo sa notes to financial statements. Itong mga notes or financial statements kasi, ito yung mga, dito natin ilalagay yung mga important disclosures, ganon. Parang, ano siya, parang additional information na mas mag-help na ma-explain ba kung paano natin nagawa yung sa mga financial statements, ganon. And dito sa notes, makikita dito yung mga accounting policies, yung sa pagde-depreciate ng mga assets, ganon. Ito yung ito yung sample lang ng notes. Pero kung titignan nyo talaga siya, kung magtitingin kayo sa mga Google or sa mga ibang or sa mga sample na notes, mahaba talaga siya and andun talaga lahat yung mga information para mas maintindihan mo yung sa financial statement. So, yun, that's the end of our presentation for today. Thank you.
Okay, so yun. Tapos na tayo for today. And any questions po or anything na hindi malinaw?
Okay naman po lahat, ate.
Okay naman na.
Yes
And
po.
sa ano pala, sa next tutorial, kahit solving muna tayo para dun sa mga computations para mas maintindihan pa natin, no? So, ayun. Yun muna yung, ayun. Yan. So, yun na muna yung ano natin ngayon, tutorial for today. And Thank you sa pag-attend and sa pakikinig, and hope na may natutunan kayo sa amin. So, pero before tayo mag-end,